Well, aloha, aloha. Welcome to another episode of Hawaii Creators. My guest today, I'm really happy. I've been looking forward to having this chat for a long time. I'm here with Ryan Esaki. Ryan, dude, I'm so glad we made this happen. Welcome.
No,
Welcome.
thank you for having me. I know I've been kind of like saying I'm kind of heads down right now, but I think I have a little bit of time to come on and talk about YouTube. So it's gonna be fun.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to it, man. It's kind of funny. So Ryan, first give everybody an intro because you're somewhat of this like mysterious character. I mean, we've been chatting back and forth, and you won't even tell me you won't even give me the URL of the new YouTube channel that you're working on. So you're Ryan Izaki is like a mystery. And first of all, I don't know what the hell it is about Ryan's. There's Ryan Ozawa, Ryan Izaki, there's Ryan Higa. I was like, what is it with Ryan's?
It's
He's
it's
really
just
good
a
on
really
YouTube.
it was just a really popular name in the 80s and 70s, 80s and 90s, and then it's not popular anymore. So
Lot of Ryans, lot of Ryan. Hey, look, so give everybody an intro. Tell everybody who you are, so that people are like, "Who the hell is Ryan Isaki?" Tell them who you are and what you're doing and what you're all about.
yeah, well, I guess who I am, what people think probably depends upon what chapter of my life you caught me in, but I think underlying all these chapters has been I'm just like a local guy that grew up in Hawaii and has somehow managed to make a living doing things on the internet in Hawaii, mostly in content, mostly on YouTube for like the last 20 years. And YouTube videos, the channels that I've owned in aggregate have had over like 120 million views, like all long form. Uh, that's it's just the number. So for some people, it's like nothing. I have a lot of YouTube friends where that's not a very impressive number at all, and for others, it seems like a lot. But that's just like the number. And I've done a couple of channels, run a couple of online businesses, and currently this year, 2024, like I left a really good job in Silicon Valley in December of 2023, and 2024 has been just like a year of starting from scratch and building a brand new channel kind of in public from nothing. So which the channel started in January, and it's recording this in May now. So it's kind of like a midway checkup, I guess. Maybe can do more of these in the future.
Awesome, awesome. That's so. So basically, you're essentially a great term I heard coined called you're a content entrepreneur, and YouTube is your sort of primary media that you deliver your content through. Is that a fair characterization?
Yeah, I think that actually is. I wouldn't have thought about it describing myself as that, but most of the things that I've done that have worked have been around creating video content, mostly on YouTube, and then either um, directing the traffic to like a product off of YouTube, or just AdSense and other things, brand deals and stuff.
Okay. All right. So, yeah, I mean, I forgot there's a guy, I should know his name, Vince. I think it's Vince something. Anyway, content entrepreneur that really resonated with me as a lifelong entrepreneur myself. I never really did the content business until just recently. But it's kind of cool. All right. So look, everyone's going to be dying to know what I'm dying to know, which is the big magic secret. You did a bunch of YouTube channels over, you said 20 years, 20-year career.
Well, I mean, we were playing with YouTube right when it changed from like YouTube. I don't know if people remember, like YouTube actually started as an online dating service. And then they changed to like a service where they just let everybody upload their videos. So once they changed from online dating to letting people upload their videos, me and my friends were playing with it from then on Oahu. We're all from Kauai, but we were living on Oahu at the time. And it was like really cool to just be able to put stuff up. But sorry, what was the question again? I
No,
just,
all good. No. It's rambling is the best. Thanks, man. I,
yeah,
I appreciate that because that's a nice piece to know that you're originally from Kauai.
yeah.
20 years or so, give or take. I mean,
Oh,
how
yeah.
many
I mean,
roughly speaking?
well,
Rough.
YouTube really blew up. Well, I've been doing things on the internet since high school, since the 90s. Like I made my first money on the internet in the 90s in high school.
Okay.
But playing with
Okay.
YouTube
So
and
20,
really,
30 years.
yeah, I guess. Oh God, the 90s were 30 years ago. Yeah, that's makes
90s
me
were
feel.
30 years ago, dude. 90s were 30 years ago. 90s were 30
Yeah,
years ago. Yep, exactly. Um, okay, so look, you got a ton of experience. You mentioned you just kind of threw this out. Your YouTube channel is give or take 120 million views, something like
yeah,
that. Is that what you mentioned? Okay,
yeah. In
so
aggregate, I think the ukulele channel probably has around 90 million, and the ramen channel probably has around 30 million, and this new channel will probably hit a million views within a month or two. Like it's going, but not as fast as I want because I have higher expectations, but it's growing, you know.
Okay. So here's a guy, everybody, with a solid 20 plus years in the business, really has done essentially nothing but YouTube, delivered 120 million views, which is for 99.9999% of YouTube creators, that's an astronomical number. So the question I got for you then is, give us this one time I heard Mr. B say, look, the way to be popular on YouTube is to develop videos that people want to watch. Okay, got it. But Ryan, if I would say, Ryan, what do you tell someone who's, just starting out in YouTube, where do they need to put their head at? What's the headline? Where do you put your head at? That's going to, bring you eventual success on YouTube. How would you answer that?
So I think it's important to first think about like what game are you playing on YouTube? Because YouTube is great in the sense that, Peter, like we're older, so we remember how expensive web hosting was when you wanted to throw something up on the internet in the past. And YouTube is essentially just free video hosting. And so like I think it's important to think, do I want to play YouTube for fun and just use it as free video hosting, or do I want to play YouTube to try to make money and turn it to a business or earn income or get something from it, right? And so that's the first question that people need to ask, because the strategies are very different. Like if you just want to have fun and make funny videos and throw them up on the internet for your friends and to share, you don't really need much of a strategy. But if the goal is to, grow in reach, influence, monetization, earn income, then the strategy is much, much different. So I think that's the first thing, making the choice whether you're going to play YouTube for fun or for profit.
So let's say it's for profit. You're going to go, you want to, because the fun stuff is fun, and that's TikTok, it's Instagram, it's all this other crap too, right? Whatever. So let's talk about profit. It's a business. You want to eventually to make this sustainable. It's going to make a few bucks. Let's just leave the big bucks off the table. You want to make a few dollars to kind of pay for, you want to pay for the electricity. You want to pay for the electricity and the cameras that you had to buy to produce the YouTube video. Let's just say that. Where do you start?
So I just saw a great quote. I think it was yesterday. I forget where it was, but the quote was essentially the way that a lot of people think YouTube works is, so basically the quote was, YouTube is not trying to find an audience for your videos. It's trying to find videos for its audience. And so you have to think about that. I think what a lot of people think is we're going to put videos out and then YouTube will try to find people to watch it. And that's not the way YouTube fundamentally works, at least not in 2024. What YouTube is, at first principle, is it's an advertising platform. They make money by serving ads on top of videos, either before videos, in the mid-roll or post or whatever. And so if you think about it from first principles, all YouTube wants for their content creators is they want their creators to make things that people click on and make things that people watch for a long time, because that allows them to serve the most ads and make the most money. And so what the algorithm is constantly looking for, it has this audience, and the audience at any given time has all these different interests. And the YouTube audience is so huge now that there's all these pocket niches of interest that at any given time, some group of people is interested in something. And the YouTube algorithm is looking for content to serve them, to keep them on the site and on the platform. And so this is why it's important to distinguish between playing YouTube for fun and for profit, because if you want to play the game for profit, you have to realize that this is the reality. And the content that you make has to start with, is there enough market demand for this style of content that I want to make? I think a big mistake that a lot of new creators make is they think that it's just luck. And YouTube is actually, the more that I've met successful people on YouTube who can start a channel and get 1 million views on their first video, it's just not luck at all. It's just, if you understand first principles, what YouTube is, what kind of videos YouTube wants people to be making, and then how to make that video. If you can do that, you can start a channel and get 1 million views on your first video. I'm not there yet. I'm still learning, to be honest. My channel is, if I was there, we would be having a much different discussion today. But that's what I've found to be the case over the last year or so. Or I guess I've been kind of heads down for 6 months. I mean, heads down, really trying to start this new channel and learn all these kind of best practices. But I've had a lot of the things I've done in the past, with what I know now, I was doing the right things, but I kind of just like lucked into it. And so you can actually remove the luck if you actually know what caused the success for those past things.
So, okay, so basically, it's kind of like you're kind of expanding on kind of that simple one liner from Mr. Beast, which is you want to create videos that people want to watch. The algorithm, and actually, it's so funny because when you say all these things, all of us that surf on YouTube, if you give it like 10 minutes of thought, that's exactly what happens. You go
Yeah.
through your just for you thing or whatever it's the recommended tab, and YouTube is throwing all kinds of crap at you that it thinks that you're going to want to watch, and of course you end up watching them, and it just kind of gives you more and more. What comes to mind is like a lot of times I'll go off, you'll go off you'll go like off the path, and you'll pick some video that you've never kind of watched before or whatever. Yeah, a
Mhm.
ball spinning around video, whatever, and
Yeah.
all of a sudden, right after that, the recommended shows like 15 videos of ball spinning.
Yeah. Yeah.
So that's what it's doing. So okay, so if that's the case, then and I don't want to get too wound up, and obviously, well, some things are proprietary and secret or whatever. But what are if you were to say what are, let's say, three things, at the most three. If there's only the one or two, that's fine. But if there's three things, and what is I'm going to rephrase that. Okay, the idea is you want to create a video that people want to watch. That's what YouTube is going to serve. If you create a YouTube that people watch and stay engaged with, YouTube is going to do the spreading for you. It's not luck; it's more of a science. Great, got it. What would you say is the most important thing that you need to kind of think about, besides the fact of how do I make this video that people want to watch?
Yeah.
Give me a little bit of the
Yeah.
mechanics.
Yeah.
What
I'll
are the
give
kind of
you
things you want to think about?
So first, like I'll just tell you what I did for this channel that I'm building right now. So like I'll give you the stats. We're gonna hit 10,000 subscribers, probably today or tomorrow. Started the channel on January 12th of this year, and got monetized on March 10th. So like within 2 months, and then yeah, gonna hit 10,000 subscribers probably today or tomorrow. And the videos average 30 to 200,000 views per video on this brand new channel. I think I just put up our 10th video today. So it's still new, relatively new, small channel. And the production speed is because I'm actually like, I have a team of people making videos with me. Like we can get into that later, like the different types of YouTube, but basically this channel, I'm not even on it. Like you wouldn't even know that it's my channel. Like I just have a team of people building these videos for me because it's a business model that's interesting to me, where I can detach myself from being the bottleneck, which I was in the past. But to go back to your question, sorry, that's a long way to explain it. But
No, it's fine. It's good.
yeah. So like the reason I explained that is because I'm just explaining like what I did for this channel, and I think this is best practices that work for anything. Like first, you want to validate market demand in some way, and like a lot of this stuff I learned. I just like when I quit my job, I was like, I'm just gonna find people that are doing what I want to do and just pay them to teach me what to do. So I just found a bunch of people online. They're all like these kids, Peter. You don't even understand. Like they're like 20 years old, like all of them. They're like the oldest ones are like 25. So it's like, and they just know, like they understand this better than any people in the world. But so like the first thing that you want to do is you want to identify that there's market demand for the type of video you want to make. So before you start a channel, there's like a bunch of research that goes into it. So there's ways to validate this. You can do it the old school way, just like browsing around YouTube. But these kids are making sites called like 1 of 10, and there's another one called Next Lev, where all these they scrape YouTube and just find like market demand, like types of videos that have high market demand. And this is like crazy because sometimes you wouldn't even realize that there's like tremendous demand for certain types of videos. And generally what I was looking for was like something that had high market demand and then something that I would enjoy making. Like types of videos that I would have been a fan of anyway. And just so happens that there is also like tremendous market demand for it. And when I look at my past channels, like the ramen channel and then the ukulele channel, it was the same story. Like it was videos that I could make, but there was also like tremendous market demand. The difference was I lucked into the last two, and this one was like by design, through research. So that's the first step.
Okay, so validate market demand. I think there's like two there that you mentioned. And by the way, look, I've got to show your way of ramen, just because people are going to say, what channel was that? Okay. So one of them is Way of Ramen, and what's the other one called? The ukulele channel?
Ukulele Underground. We sold that channel or that business that was actually like a full online business. Like we had like a whole Like we had employees and stuff, but we sold the business and the channel. It's called Ukulele Underground. We sold it during
Awesome. I'm gonna
COVID.
just pull it up.
Yeah, so people
There's
are.
nothing. By the way, congratulations. There is nothing, and I can speak from authority on this. There is nothing more satisfying for an entrepreneur.
Yeah, the sound is probably auto playing.
Yeah,
But
I need to hold on. Sorry about that. Okay, there is nothing more satisfying to an entrepreneur than the day you sell the business. And I don't care what you sell for; it doesn't matter. The fact that you built up the fact that you've built a business and you've sold it, and someone sees enough value in it to buy it. That is the pinnacle, in my view, the pinnacle of entrepreneurship. To start something, to build it, and to sell it. That is nothing beats that.
I mean,
Nothing beats
that one for me was a little bit of like, I'm just tired. I was so tired. We ran it
The
for
reason
14
is
years.
the reason is irrelevant. The reason is irrelevant. The reason is irrelevant.
Yeah.
The fact that you built it and you sold it, and okay, look, selling it ultimately what selling it means. Look, at the end of the day, what selling it means is I'm not in the mood to put any more effort to grow this thing. It's grown enough. I need to give it to someone else who can take it and grow it. That's what selling it essentially means, right? Because no one sells a business that they love and love and love is making them a ton of money and is going on its way up. Nobody sells that. Nobody sells that, right? No one sells stocks that they think are going to go up. It's just
Yeah.
that simple. Okay. So anyway, so I wanted to put those up there: Ukulele Underground and Way of Ramen for anybody who wants to check out those channels. Okay. So back to what we're saying here. So okay. So you want to find a validate market demand. That's huge. Again, this is if you're going to do this for a business, not for a hobby, right? If it's a hobby, just do whatever you want to do and don't worry
Yeah,
about it, right?
exactly. And then like
Right?
it's fine. Like you just have fun. Like, but here's
Absolutely.
the thing that people get messed up with is they say they want to just have fun, but then they care about the metrics and making money. So it's like they're talking on both sides of their mouth, right? Like if the cost of, yeah, I mean, you can have a lot of fun making the videos, but if you say like, oh, I'm just doing YouTube for fun, then don't care about the metrics. Like just have fun in making the videos and sharing them, you know?
See, but you're right. See that you just pulled the soft underbelly. Yeah, it's a hobby, but I want the likes. Everybody wants the likes. They want the views, right? If you spend an hour doing some crazy ass rant video that makes you feel really, really good and you get like 5 views on it, you're like, what the hell? No one cares, right? So, right, it pounds your ego. Okay, so we got a validate market demand, and you threw a second one in it, which is a videos that you would like to produce, or videos that you would like to somehow be involved with. There's an emotional component there.
That's just for me personally. Like I have a hard time working on things that I'm not interested in. I have friends that are just mercenaries that they would just go in and they don't care about the niche at all, but they see a market opportunity and they're like day traders. Like they'll just go in and like make videos for that niche because they know that money is there. But for me personally,
Man.
like I have a hard time doing that. So like, which is why like I kind of hamstring myself a little bit in terms of like it's been consistent through my career. Like I I want to do things that I have fun doing, and sometimes that comes at a cost of not making as much money as possible. But I enjoy it, you know, like it's been fun.
Look, I say God bless those guys who can do that as mercenaries, because I mean, what's the point then? And then it's not like, part of the thing of the journey of life is it's not about the destination, it's about the journey, right? It's the path that you follow that has to be enjoyable, because one thing's for sure, you don't know if you're going to get to that destination. You don't know if you're going to hit that $1 billion business. You don't know if you're going to hit that jackpot. You don't know. But one thing you do know is you're going to be walking that path. You're going to be walking that path. So that path, to me personally, has to be meaningful, rewarding, enjoyable, whatever, because you don't know where that path is really going to lead. You don't know.
Yeah,
So
it
that's just
definitely for me
right.
it helps when because there's always something going on that's going wrong. But at least if you're kind of proud of the videos you're making, it's like, well, at least I'm like making these videos. And sometimes you just have to fall back on that a
You
little
could
bit.
always fall back on it. Yeah. Okay. So validate the audience. Validate that there's a market demand. Secondarily, videos that you like. What's next after that? So you've got the demand. You've got the video. You're
Yep.
going to like to do it. Then what?
The next step is you study the market and find what's called, like in the industry, it's called outliers. So basically like videos that are like way overperforming the size of the channel. So if there is high market demand, what you will generally see is you will see small channels with a video or two, or maybe all our videos that have a tremendous amount of views. So like you'll see a channel with 3,000 subscribers with a video with 500,000 views. And what this is demonstrating is that the algorithm ran out of content to serve the people that want to watch that style of video. So they're looking for new content and new channels, and they're willing to promote. The algorithm is willing to promote a video on a brand new channel because it's serving a market demand. So like you saw this, like remember when the Titan submarine kind of like exploded underwater? Like you would make a new channel and make videos about that submarine blowing up, and you would get 1 million views right off the bat because there was so much market demand for that. And I'm not saying like that's the type of videos I make. I actually try to make what's called evergreen content, which is like no matter what year it is, you can find it and watch it and enjoy it. Like all the things that I've done online has always been evergreen.
Like Simon. Ramen.
People make ramen all the time, you know.
That's right. Yeah, awesome.
Finding recipes and stuff for that is people will always be searching for that. So like the plus side of that is like their income becomes much more stable because you're not banking on a trend all the time. But you will find like
trending has got to be exhausting. Trending has got to be exhausting. That's got to be hard work.
Yeah, I mean it is.
So,
it's like,
I'm sorry.
Oh no, go ahead.
Go ahead. No, I interrupted. I'm throwing in some stuff. I'm throwing you off. The trend is crazy. But look, you were back with that's a great idea. Small channels with huge views that gives you an idea that the content is outstripping. Go ahead on that.
Yeah. So it's called like in the industry we call it an outlier video, and outliers are basically the algorithm has pushed the video much further beyond the audience that the channel already has. And when you can see that, there's a couple of things you can derive from that. Like one, there's market demand for that video, maybe just that video specifically or that style of video. And then two, like something about that video was very effective, whether the click-through rate, script, editing, maybe all of them, the thumbnail. Like there's components of videos, right? Like packaging, which is like thumbnail, title, and then script, and then editing and content. Like those are all the components of a video. If you break it down to pieces, something about that outlier video was very good to get YouTube to push it like that. So you're what you're essentially doing once you validate market demand is you're looking for outliers and things that have, because basically what you want to do is you want to just kind of model those videos, whether it's like the scripting, the thumbnail, the titling, the idea is the most important. Like if that sometimes. Like my best video on my ramen channel, I think is a horrible video. Like I didn't even cook the ramen right. I failed like halfway through, but the thing has 5 million views because the idea was so good. So like when you have an outlier video, generally what you will see is the video idea is very good. I can give you some examples of these outliers. Like I was doing research once for a channel and I just stumbled across this track and field channel. And they had an outlier video that was like something like the world champion who learned from YouTube videos. And like when you hear that title already, you're like, oh, I have like all these questions. Like what did he watch? What did he learn? What kind of champion? Who is this guy? That's what a good idea looks like. And so that video on a tiny channel had like hundreds of thousands of views. And so you can find, if you do enough research, you can find like the outlier videos in that niche that you validated. And you kind of build like a swipe bank or like a list of these videos that have performed very well, and then you use that to kind of create your content strategy, or like what kind of videos you're going to make for your channel. At least your first 10.
Okay, that is a really and what I like about what you lined up is this is something that everybody should be able to understand. You're gonna verify that audience, that there's a market demand, and you got to do your research and all that kind of stuff. Validate market demand, and then find the outliers. And once essentially build up a playlist of those outliers. And then you kind of want to look through those and find some similarities. Like you said, what's the thumbnail, the title, the editing, the content, the this and that, and the other thing. And you'll come up with, this is the winning formula. Exactly. This is the winning formula for this category of video. Now it's up to you to kind of have your creativity to go out and kind of do it and sort of duplicate it or model it or whatever, so that your video would almost fit in with that playlist you just got through creating.
Exactly. Like it's this whole process is just de-risking, right? Because you're gonna spend time and money doing stuff, so you might as well try to de-risk as much as possible before you make something. Because making something is when you actually make something is when you invest time and energy and money. So like before you
Yes.
even do that, you should invest into like de-risking as much as possible. But yeah, exactly right. Like you should make a
I
video that
love
should
that word.
fit in that playlist that you built.
I love the de-risking is because at the end of the day, especially as a content creator, if you're frankly to me, whether you're going after it for the money or for the hobby, at the end of the day, if you're not getting the return now on the business side, it's got to start making money. You're gonna give yourself X amount of runway, whether you're going to give yourself a year or 2 years or 5 years or 10 years. It's got to start making money. On the hobby side, you're doing it for the views and for the likes, and sooner or later you got to start getting some traction. So this is the return on the investment. You got to kind of de-risk it so that when you start, you're going to have the best possible chance. No guarantee, but the best possible chance of
Yeah,
success.
yeah.
Right. Okay. Let's switch now. So I think that's a great way to get started. I think obviously there's a ton more stuff, but let's not get into that. What I want to flip on as you're talking about this, I'm thinking, okay, great. Tell me one thing that they should not be doing. You just gave me a good outline for how to start.
Yeah.
Great. Give me a big don't. What's a big
Oh,
don't?
I can give you the biggest don't share your channel to your friends and family, your brand new channel.
Which is why you're not sharing your channel here,
Yeah.
which is awesome. So why not?
Okay, so like when you set up a brand new channel, the algorithm has no idea who your audience is. So you put up a video. I'll give you the two scenarios. Like you put up a video, you share it on Facebook, Instagram. You say like, "Hey, everybody, I just made a new channel. Check out my video and give it a like and subscribe if you can." Your mom, your auntie, your friend from college, your whatever, all these various different people with different interests and different things that they watch generally on YouTube, all come into this video, and the algorithm's like, I don't understand who this audience is for this video at all. Like I have an auntie who's like 60 years old who's like watching this video, and then I have this like a teenager like that's watching it who doesn't like this stuff at all generally, and I have this other person, and it just confuses the algorithm like who the algorithm should push this video out to. And then on top of that, generally what happens when you share it with friends is they don't care about your content. They're just trying to be nice. So they'll click and they'll watch for 5 seconds and like, okay, cool, I supported Ryan, I'm going to click off. And then what that tells the algorithm then is that this video sucks because the people aren't even watching. So it's like you're double whammying yourself right from the beginning by sharing a brand new channel. It's like you're sending it out to an audience who doesn't care about the content, and then they're not even watching it. So it's confirming to the algorithm that the video sucks. So you already like are starting so far on the ground that you basically the algorithm's going to give up on your channel before you even have a shot. So when you start a new
Dude,
channel,
that is the most freaking counterintuitive yet true thing that completely makes sense when you explain it this way. Completely, I kind of feel like that we should take that clip of you just talking about that and make that a video unto itself. I'm sure someone's already done it a million times over. The number one thing you do not want to do on YouTube is share it with your friends. My
oh,
God.
if you put that out, you probably get some views for your channel. Yeah. A good title has like those components, right? A good title has like curiosity, fear, and there's like another thing, and then that's like hits all of them, right? Like a great title has those components:
Oh my God,
curiosity,
that's so damn
fear,
funny.
and aspiration. Like your aspiration is like I want to have a good, successful YouTube channel. My curiosity and my fear are like, oh, what am I doing wrong? So it's like that's a great title, right? Like the number one thing you don't want to do on a brand new YouTube channel, or the number one thing
Oh
that's
man.
killing your brand new YouTube channel. Like,
Oh
you
my
know?
God. Yeah. Oh my God, that's so damn funny. That is so damn funny.
Yeah, so that's a big one. Like I see a lot of people do that, and I'm like, what are you doing? Like, and
Uh,
the only reason I stumbled onto that is like the ramen channel. I did that by accident, or it wasn't by accident. It was like I had this thing where I give you the story back, Peter, this background. Like we going around, like I said, we ran for like 15 years, and by like year 11 or 12, I had outsourced all of my work for that job, and I was going into the office for maybe like 3 times a week, working for like an hour, and I was miserable because what would happen was like I would go in and musicians would be coming in to film videos and all these things, and nobody would even say hi to me. I like this is like my thing with my friends that I made, Aaron and Aldrine, and like nobody even cares that I'm here. And I just like answer like a couple of customer support emails, and then I go home and like maybe none of this was even because of me. Like I just tagged along for this success. And so like the ramen channel had two goals. Like one was like to prove to myself that I could do it on my own. Like I actually contributed a little bit to the success of Ukulele Underground. And the second was like I was really into making ramen. I just wanted to document that stuff. But those are the two things. And so because I wanted to prove to myself that I did it all on my own, and I had this huge like people knew me from Ukulele Underground. And like if I put it out on my socials, people would have Ukula Underground people would have watched it. So like I'm not gonna tell anybody, so I can tell for a fact that this was completely through my efforts. And just by chance, by doing that, the algorithm found me the audience much faster. And like from there, and then what happened was I started talking to people like last year and this year, and they basically just confirmed it. Like, oh yeah, never share your channel. So it was like I stumbled on it the first time by complete accident. Like, which is why I say like a lot of it was just luck, like in the past, and now I know like what contributed to the luck by just
Damn, that is such a great story. That is such a great story. So because you had this desire, the strong desire, like I want to do this by myself and prove
yeah
to myself that I can do it by myself. I'm going to do this ramen channel because I happen to like ramen.
yeah
And you don't tell anybody about it, and then you stumble onto like the big secret, which is don't
exactly
don't share your channel with your friends. I love
yeah
it.
yeah
I love it. I love it. Absolutely love it. Cool. So okay. So so let's talk about like where do you see yourself? What do you see yourself doing now? You're a middle-aged man.
yeah
You've got kids. You're a dad. You're kind of maturing. What do you see yourself? Are you going to be with this channel that you're building is just going to be kind of one and that sort of like the same pattern, build it and then flip it, build it and sell it? Are you looking at, okay, one more and done? Are you looking at, okay, I'm going to get into raising children and I'm going to make videos on raising children? I mean, how is it? It seems to me that YouTube has become sort of a fundamental content creation, video creation is like a fundamental part of like basically who you are. You've been doing it since you were a kid.
yeah
So I see you doing this like forever. So how do you see yourself? What do you see for your future? And what do you think of, or what do you dream of? What do you dream of?
yeah that's actually well, I can go down a rabbit hole in multiple directions.
Take any rabbit hole that the spirit pulls you in.
I mean, so like first of all, like I said, I was miserable when I wasn't doing anything. Like that's ironically, it's funny. Like one of the people that I met on this YouTube thing, and he was on the come up, and now he's making like $20,000-$30,000 a month doing YouTube. Like within the span of like a couple months since I met him to now, like he's doing really good. And I kind of told him like, yeah, I had this business and I outsourced all my work and I wasn't doing anything and I was miserable. And he's like, you basically got the dream that everybody wants and you weren't happy. He kind of said that. And so I was like, yeah, if you say it like that, that's kind of true. So yeah, you're right. I probably always will be doing something because it's like being idle is not fun at all. But in terms of like the purpose of why, like for the last year, actually people like I did content for most of my career, but the last year I actually spent in Silicon Valley. I worked for some of the I worked for Justin Kahn, who's like one of the co-founders of Twitch, like at his startup, and it was like a fantastic experience. I learned a lot about what I thought I knew that I actually didn't know, and I got to work with really A players in this
Cool
company.
That's cool. Really cool.
Yeah, and so like what it showed me is like there actually is what I have a like under overlying thesis about like the way that businesses and startups and any kind of business will be launched in the next 5 to 10 years or the next 5 to 10 years. And it's already playing out where I think that in the past businesses were created, like you had an idea for business and you'd make it and then you'd go to market and you would market the business and product and service to people and try to find ways you'd do direct advertising. You can do content marketing, organic reach kind of things. I think it's flipped now. I think what the most successful businesses over the next 10 years are going to do is they're going to figure out how to get the audience for the product first, and then they'll just build the product on the back end. Like, I think that's the way that businesses are going to be built. And so like, we've seen that already with like Mr. Beast has Feastables, Logan Paul has Prime, Mark Rober has Crunch Labs. Like, and it's not like a new thing, right? Like there's always been like celebrity endorsements of things, like they'd hold up things, but then they just leave. I think it's going to be different. I think I have a big thesis that like all the power is going to be held by people that will know how to go direct to market, like because they essentially have like what's called a CAC advantage, like in the tech world, like customer acquisition cost. Like if you have the power to create get an audience on demand, you will always have a CAC advantage in any industry that you enter. So like coming out of working in Silicon Valley, I was like, I could go back and get a job working in tech again, probably, because I'm actually very good at like community building as well. Because that was another leg of Ukula Underground and Way of Ramen, was like building community online and growing communities like that. So like I could have gone back and been head of community for another company or a startup that was B2C, but then I just see it like as probably the biggest opportunity for most people is figuring out, or for me, just generally, because I've been doing content for so long, was like, if I can go viral on demand, like I could do anything and have a CAC advantage of anything that I wanted to do. So that's kind of like one leg of it. And then I could just tell people how to do it. You know, like my friends in Silicon Valley that are still there, they're still building, they're still investing in startups, they're still doing things. A lot of my colleagues are eventually going to start their own businesses, and I wanted to be in a position where I could help them in the future when they launch their service and startup. Like, hey, let me just make a YouTube channel for you, and I'll get you 500,000 free inbound leads. You know, like that. So that's part of it. The second part of it is, I honestly think it's one of the best opportunities for local people in terms of like an achievable, like, and that's not passive income, but it's like something that local people here can do. Like there's no competitive disadvantages from doing content in Hawaii compared to like, if you like, for example, like if you wanted to run a startup from Hawaii, oh, you're going to have like a bunch of headwinds against you because, you know, you're removed from funding, you're removed from network, you're removed from a bunch of these like serendipitous things that are kind of required to have a successful startup. But I've met content creators and YouTube people that are making like good money, like 30, 40, $50,000 a month just by themselves in like Africa or like in, you know, wherever, like they're all over the world, like Canada, like places in like that you wouldn't even expect someone like that to exist. And so I'm like, I think my eventual, like what I would love to do is like, I don't even know if there are people out there in Hawaii that would want to learn how to do this, but I would love to like help people in Hawaii like learn how to do this, and maybe they can make, you know, I read a study somewhere. It's like 10 grand a month is what people need in Hawaii to be comfortable. Like 10 grand a month on YouTube is like very accomplishable. Like I know the amount of people that I know that learned how to do this and are making that within 6 months, or not. I shouldn't say that because it's going to set false expectations and like whatever. But like just, I know people that have gone from like nothing to making like, you know, making money doing this within five to 6 months of trying, like honest trying. So it's like, I just think it's like, I would love to like one day like help local people like learn how to do this and like, you know, it's show them that it's possible, which is part of the reason why I like wanted to document the stuff that I'm doing publicly. Because I started from scratch. Like I did the same thing. I didn't use any of my network or leverage or anything. It's like just algorithm organic growth and showing people that it's like, if you just know what to do and they can kind of do it. And I don't know everything yet. I'm still learning. I'm still on the path of like learning, but yeah, that's kind of like what I'm working towards.
Dude, that's totally awesome. I think, you know, that's there's I know that's going to that's music. That's gonna be music to the other Ryan Ozawa's ears, because that's what Hawaii Creators is really, that was his vision in kind of starting all this. But I think, look, there's no question that you're 100% right. I agree 1,000,000% on everything. It's a great opportunity for local folks. You know, I'll share a funny story with you. Okay, so my company Cybercom, we created the very first commercial website in Hawaii. That was 1994. And that commercial website was outrigger.com. We built the first one.
Oh, nice.
And yeah. And you know, when I was thinking about this, because I had seen the World Wide Web for the very first time before anyone in Hawaii did, almost anyone. And I thought the exact same thing. I thought, man, when this thing takes off, it's going to be an incredible option for Hawaii. It's going to, you know, help, you know, this distance issue is not going to be what it's going to be. It's going to be an incredible opportunity for Hawaii. So you're doing the modern version of that, and the YouTube version is very, very doable. And like you've said, there's a lot of people who are, it can be done. It is a business. There are people making money with it if you can go through the discipline, and it does take discipline. A couple of things that you outlined, it's not just that, of course, but it's the discipline. At the end of the day, it's the discipline of running a business. If you can go through the discipline,
yeah,
that's it. It's running a business, and you have to work, you know, all those things about running a business that entrepreneurs talk about all the time, working your ass off for pennies for a long time because you know the outcome, but you get there and you reach it, and all those things. So that is a great vision. And I think you kind of thinking about helping out, you know, I say something that I've observed as far as where I think like the next wave is going. I agree 100%. You know, the other slight interesting story. I just sold living in Hawaii a few months ago, and my story on that was I wanted to create something for my retirement,
yeah.
and I started building it. And I had a couple of I did have a business plan. I had all this stuff, But you know what? It took a twist, and I didn't realize that the audience that this thing was bringing was much better suited for real estate than it was for what I had planned. And there's a lot more money in real estate, and I'm not a realtor, so let's sell to a real estate company. So sometimes you find the audience after you get started, and that's the part of the fun of it, right? But you're 100% right. You've got that the CAC advantage. What did you call that? The customer
CAC
acquisition
advantage.
costs.
Yeah.
Customer acquisition costs. If you got if you have a CAC of essentially zero, so to speak, or the production cost of the videos, which is trivial compared to the audience that you're achieving, you will sooner or later find a business model. You will find a product for that audience if you don't already know what that product is. They'll tell you. They'll tell you what they want. That's how I found it. They started asking me, "Hey, I want to buy a house. Who should I talk to?" It's like, shit, I don't know. Go talk to him. So I'm with you. One twist I'm kind of seeing, and this is some future talk now that we're jumping into. I see. I've been a big. Once I understood what this new blockchain technology was really all about, and it's about open protocols. It's not about gambling and wishing that you're going to buy a Bitcoin and it's going to go up. That's for some people. That's not for me at all. That's the casino. Not talking about the casino. Forget about the casino. But what I see is the possibility that you can encapsulate, for example, what you want to do, what your future vision is. You'd love to build something here where you'd like to help Hawaii creators, Hawaii content creators build successful businesses. Well, what if you could create an organization on that where the value of the organization, which was shared amongst the people who were building it. So now you're not just building it, you're not just being the nice guy, Ryan, and maybe you're charging a consulting gig or whatever, but how about if using blockchain technology to track equity, you've built this community of creators, everyone is helping everyone because everyone shares in the gains. In other words, if you were to build a Facebook where all the people that were participating in Facebook owned a piece of Facebook, what kind of a Facebook could you build? That's to me the BHAG. My next BHAG is to figure out a way to kind of allow communities to build with equity in the community, such that those that participate and those that deliver value get part of the value, own the equity in the organization. I think that to me is like, I'm super excited about that.
Yeah, so like for context, like the job that I had in tech was Web3, a Web3 job. It was like a Web3 business. It was like specifically related to like, and
Awesome.
the reason I got that job is because I tried to. So this is like, I don't talk about this because people have such like strong opinions about blockchain and crypto. I'm pretty like, I think the casino stuff is kind of silly. It's also fun. Like if you like to be a gambler, like people enjoy it, right? I can't judge them.
It's the casino. It's the casino.
Like people enjoy casinos, right?
Yeah.
But like I was always just much more interested in like blockchain as a protocol layer on the internet. Like, like we run HTTP is a protocol layer that the web is powered on. SMTP is a protocol layer that email is powered on. And then I viewed blockchain as a protocol layer that could
exactly
like proof of ownership. Like it's a proof layer. So
yes, exactly. It's another protocol layer.
Yeah, it's just a protocol layer, and like protocol layers are benign. Like people get scammed with emails, like people get scammed on email all the time, but nobody's like email is bad. It's just like it's like an agnostic benign protocol that the first group of users that chose to use it are casino people. So it's like it's gotten a bad reputation in general. But
dude, you're right on.
Yeah, I've just always been fascinated by the technology, but I do know that people have negative views on blockchain because of the casino. So like I generally try not to talk about it, but I'll just tell you, like I'll be upfront. Like the reason why I got that job is because I tried to build a video game using NFTs. Like I didn't know how to make a video game, but I thought it was cool, like a cool idea. And so we did this NFT thing, and we sold like $500,000 worth of NFTs in a day. Like it was crazy. And then like we tried to build a game. The game did not work. Turns out building a game is very, very difficult. And then also the casino aspects of like people trading NFTs made the experience of trying to run a business around that completely miserable. Like it is so miserable. Like people like expecting you to give them a financial return off a video game character. And so what eventually happened was I was like, I can't do this. And I shut down the game, and I tried to give as much of the money that we made selling NFTs back to the people. And so like people, I mean, like the degens and the casino people, like some of them, they hated me because they're like, I thought you were going to make it go to the moon. But I was like, dude, I'm not going to do this anymore. I'm trying to give you guys as much as I can back and like help me sleep at night and whatever. And so that led to the job in blockchain because the they're like, oh shoot, like this guy in the bear market like managed to figure out a way to get this many people to care about something. So it's but yeah, like so I have some opinions
So
on
cool,
that.
man.
Just in general.
I'm so stoked. I'm so stoked that you brought that up in your example, because you're 100% right. And look, on the video game side, I think there's a lot more money to be made. I think where the real money, well, at least one place where I see money being made on blockchain enabled games is the game has got to be good. The game has got to be a good game that you want to play. Period. End of story. But all those characters that you build and all that equity that you build, if if I build up a badass character in some game with all these abilities and all this kind of crap, I do want to be able to sell that character on the open market in a
Yeah.
legal way, and that'd be a great, So if a blockchain enabled game allows you to own the assets that you build, that's huge. The game's got to be great though, but
Yeah.
the casino kind of screws stuff up. It's like you can't have a casino inside a university, because if you bring a casino inside a university, all the kids, all the students are going to get all screwed up because they're going to be playing slot machines all day long instead of studying. So you got to take that casino mentality out of the picture. It's got to be gone. If people are buying shit, because they think it's going to go up, wrong place.
Yeah, like that's basically what happened. Like I had a bunch of people that just didn't play the game at all. And to be fair,
Exactly.
the game kind of sucked. Like I don't know how to make a game, but like it was basically that. Like you could level up a character and then the character becomes more valuable as you play it, and you could sell it on secondary market. But yeah, like I think until the casino thing goes away, which I don't see it going away anytime soon, it's gonna be very hard to like operate anything that isn't kind of casino related in blockchain, unless the only way that I could see it, like again, like the company that I worked at, we were in blockchain gaming. Like that's what it was. It was like a blockchain gaming like thing where we dealt with, I met people from like all these companies and made like games that have like, they're like legit game studios with like hundreds of millions of downloads, making like millions of dollars a month making these games. And they're like interested in blockchain. And then they all kind of like, yeah, this doesn't really work because of the casino thing. Like that's what they all kind of concluded. I do think there's interesting things going on. Like I don't want to turn this into a crypto podcast because I know that's not what people want, but like there's a guy, I don't know if you follow Luca Netz, Peter. Like there's this guy, Luca Netz, who he kind of made his first like millions like marketing gel blasters, the guns, the guns that shoot Orbeez. My kid has a bunch of them. But he bought this NFT project, and basically what he did is he showed a model that you could run actual business with the NFTs as part of it. And so he has a project called Pudgy Penguins that he has toys in Walmart and Target. He has like a real products and a real like EBITDA that he's running, but it's just like the back end of it, like the IP are all captured on NFTs. So like there's someone's gonna figure it out eventually. I don't think we're there yet. I think he's the closest though. So like I've been watching what he does, because he's probably the closest to figuring out how do you create a sustainable business using blockchain to capture some of the shared value. I think he's the closest out of everybody. So if he makes it work, I think the floodgates will open. But until then, like the casino degens, like just run the show, and it's hard to build anything with that. So
you're 100% right. The casino ruins it, and but here's the opportunity, right? That makes the entrepreneur kind of salivate. Someone's going to come up with a genuine killer app where people aren't even going to care what the underlying technology is. Just like your example of SMTP is email. No one gives a rat's ass when they're sending an email what the protocol is, and SMTP couldn't care less about who TCP/IP is. No one cares about the protocol. It just works. And whoever the killer app is it's going to be fun. It's going to happen. But meanwhile, the casinos,
or like this is like my, not a prediction, but I just think it's ironic or funny in a way, because the people that hate crypto also hate AI, and they're afraid of deepfakes and stuff. And the best hedge against deepfakes is putting it on blockchain to verify original authentic thing, right? So
authenticity. Yep, absolutely.
So if you are someone like a public figure that needs to make sure, like the deepfakes are insane. Like AI deepfakes are so good now, you can't tell the difference. Like I think most people don't even know. Like I go on Instagram and there are all these like AI influencers that people don't even know are AI influencers because the deepfakes are so good. And so like
crazy. And
people are like, well, Capra captures like data in the picture and stuff. That's true, but you still have to like the database, where is it stored and how can you trust it? Like the blockchain is a trustless ledger, and you could attach, like if you're a public figure, you could attach your official clips to like some kind of blockchain, like and then have that be as a proof of like what's the authentic thing. And then if you want the authentic thing, that is like, the only way you can verify trustlessly that that is the real thing. And all the deep that's like, to me, like a potential use case in the world that AI is becoming so advanced and deep fakes are so easy to make now. And it's kind of just ironic because people that hate AI also hate crypto, and like blockchain is the one thing that could potentially like
Save the
help
whole thing.
help prevent deep fakes and mass, like dude, it's gonna get scary. Like if the worst, like someone deep fakes a president and there's no way to verify,
Oh,
like
oh my God.
like world
Oh,
leaders are saying, like there
oh,
needs to be some solution to verify authenticity of these things. And it's gonna get to the point where it's gonna be indistinguishable within the next year or two. So you need
that is
something
so
to
true.
hedge against deep fakes and stuff. And blockchain
There
is
you
like,
go.
that's one of the things, right? It's like agnostic. It's just how to use it.
Totally.
So
That's so awesome. This is thanks for going off the deep end with me, and because it's so much fun to kind of to talk to you about this. I'm so glad that we did this. Look, but I could keep talking for way longer than we want to kind of do. So I want to kind of start to wrap this up a little bit. So what do you have to say to sort of in your closing thoughts? We've got a bunch of creators, Hawaii creators, up and coming, trying to figure it out, trying to get motivated. They just listen to you about all of these things. What do you have to say to the folks that are thinking about this, to the Hawaii? Let's get to the Hawaii specific audience. What do you got to say to the local? Let's call them kids. Anyone who's younger than you is a kid. All the and the older kids too, for that matter. What do you have to say to them as far as if they're considering doing something like what you've been doing, building a business, building on content development, building on some kind of YouTube videos? What do you want to share with them? What should they know?
what advice would I give them?
Yeah, you have a right now here. Imagine this: there's a bunch of kids that are watching you, and they've been listening to our conversation,
Yeah.
and it's going to come to a close. And Ryan's got to tell them, hey, if you're considering this, here's my advice for you after this video comes to a close.
Yeah, I got it. Okay, I got it. I think the biggest thing that I would say is that one, it's like 100% possible, and that has to be like a core belief. The people that I have, my friends that are all very successful at this, that I've seen go from nothing to doing this very well, they all have the same shared belief that's like just they've stumbled on their own, is that they believe that if someone else can do it, then they can do it too if they just learn what to do. Like, and that's been the underlying general belief that they all have. And then because of that belief, they keep working on it to figure it out. As far as like advice, I would say just find someone who's doing what you want to do, no matter what it is. Like even if it's not content, like just find the best person who's doing what you want to do and it's proof that they're doing what you want to do, and just like pay them money to teach you what they're doing. Like that's been the biggest hack that I've discovered over the last year or two. It's like I could just give this guy the money and download as much of the mistakes that I don't have to make them as possible, and just like shortcut to the results. It's like so funny. Like the people that I know that are in their 20s, they're just like, like my generation, the millennials, are like, oh, patience, like be patient and whatever. My friend's like, now we're gonna make that paper now. Like that's what they tell me. they don't they don't want to be patient, and because they have this like mindset like that, it generally works out for them because they just like, I'm not gonna be patient. I'm just gonna pay and then learn exactly what to do and then do it. So I would say that, like, one, adopt the mindset of like that it's possible, and believe you have to believe that it's possible, because if you don't believe that it's possible, you're not going to do what it takes to make it work. So the right thing that they say is like, I know it's possible because other people are doing it. I just need to learn what they know, and I need to do what they're doing. And then two, just like shortcut. You don't have to suffer. Suffering is like almost voluntary now because the internet. You can just find people that are doing what you're doing and just like pay them money, and then they'll teach you what to do. It's pretty great.
Excellent. And man, that is a fantastic way to kind of close this off. First and foremost, believe that it's possible. It's possible that you can do it. You can, and the reason why you can do it is because there are others that are doing it. That's why it's possible, and that's how you know it's possible. And then find someone who's doing what you want to do, and pay them to alleviate you from all the mistakes and all the agony that you're going to have to go through if you
Yeah.
don't pay them. It's well worth it. Well worth it.
And here's the thing, Peter. Like the reason why I'm doing this channel that I'm doing right now, like I said, I'm not even on it. Like I'm building it with a team just to like I think there's a lot of excuses that people make about why they can't do it. Like if you're like, I'm not charismatic on camera, like I've done things where I'm on camera and that has worked, but I'm building this channel, I'm not on camera, it's not my voice, and it's like animated, so like there people have no idea who's making it, right? So like if you're not charismatic on camera, there's still ways to do it. Like there's a way to make it work for anybody if you just believe that it's possible. So yeah.
There's a way to make it work for anybody. Ryan, I think that's I don't think that we can kind of top that now without going into some kind of way deep end convo. And it's been fantastic, absolutely great thing. Look, I really appreciate you. I really appreciate you spending the time, giving us the time to share your wisdom. And I wish you I can't wait to. I can't wait for the day when you're going to share with us what that YouTube channel is, so we know what it is.
Yeah, maybe I will. Maybe when I hit 100,000 subs, or like when the channel's
And
making it.
way down the road, yeah, some way down the road when you don't have to risk the weirdness of a few friends throwing it off. But and I was really happy to kind of see that you also have an altruistic thing, and the Hawaii thing would be fantastic. So I hope we're going to stay in touch. It was great meeting you. Great talking to you for an hour. Hope everybody finds this valuable. Ryan, final words. Say goodbye to everybody in your own way.
Yeah, thank you, everybody. Thanks, Peter, for having me on. It's fun.
Thank you, Ryan. I appreciate you sharing all your wisdom. And folks, stay tuned for more fun. But this has been another fabulous. Thank you, Ryan, for making this a fabulous discussion. I really appreciate it. Aloha, everyone.